Warning, I swear a lot.
Today, I wanted to talk about shortcuts. I wanted to talk about taking the fast track to success in any kind of endeavor, from a video game to a band to a business, what have you. Doing something to speed up the process. Like, for instance, in LP, I don't know, recording something like Fortnite or PUBG or whatever. Whatever's relevant nowadays. I guess it's Among Us and Phasmophobia now. Or as a band, instead of doing the genre you want to do, you do something that appeals more to the mainstream at this current time. More to the point, I want to talk about whether or not you should take shortcuts. It's a hard thing to quantify because on the surface, there is so little reason to not take a shortcut, right? You want success, you work hard, and you want to be rewarded for your efforts. How does it not make sense to just go out and grab it through necessary means that aren't morally questionable? Just, do this quote-unquote smart thing that will allow you to just enjoy success quicker, to get you there faster. Why not do it? There's actually, in my opinion, once again, I'm not a know-it-all, I don't know everything, and I'm not an authority on this subject, on my industry or anything. There's a very good reason why you shouldn't take shortcuts. It's a conversation that me and Sweetman had a couple months ago now, and we were both of the same mind on this front. You shouldn't take shortcuts because the experience is entirely necessary. It's like playing an RPG, right? You could, and in fact there are many games which allow you to sequence break events and skip far off into the future. Like, you can go to an area in the game that's designed for you to be a much higher level, and I think in Breath of the Wild you can go fight the final boss straight away. But what happens when you get there? Well, you have no experience, you haven't built yourself up, you don't know what you're doing, and 9 times out of 10 you get trashed, you get smacked into the floor. And I think this applies to things like Let's Play, to things like bands and drawing, anything which requires, anything that you can fast track and requires public appeal to keep running. You need the experience, you really do. There's an easy way to look at this. When I started this channel, bearing in mind when I started this channel I had about 2 to 3 years of LPing under my belt already, so I already had some experience. When I first started this channel, I did a series on Resident Evil 7, and while that is incredibly dated, it was a lot of fun, and I recommend you check it out, because it was actually a good time. But my point is, I did that series. Now imagine, if you've watched it, imagine if that series was the series that went out to everyone, that everyone saw. That was everyone's first impression of my channel. That reached tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people. All of them got some kind of exposure to those videos. Would that have made me successful? No. No way. Not even close. Even at that time, which was about 2 years ago now, there was so much better LP going around. Like, to have my work exposed to a larger audience at such an early stage would have done nothing for me. Or it might have done something. I may have perhaps gone up to a couple hundred, maybe even 1,000 subscribers, who knows. But it would not have been the make or break moment. And sure, maybe those episodes might have been really good and they might have drawn in a large audience, but I did not have the experience in Let's Play, in commentary, in talking to what is essentially a person and also not a person. I am talking to you directly, but in reality I'm sat here by myself just talking. You have to learn how to do that, and you have to get into the mindset that you are in fact talking to a person. Even if only one person watches, I'm still talking to you. You have to get into that mindset. There are so many things you have to learn, as well as editing things that you need to learn, as well as your general setup. Now, if you've heard sound quality in some of my videos, I'm still working on that. Like, this setup is not perfect, and there's so much I need to do to refine it. But this is precisely my point. If that Resident Evil series has gotten 1,000 people in, and then I followed up on that Resident Evil series with some of the other stuff that I released around that time, some of which was pretty good, I'll give myself some credit, but it wouldn't have been good enough. I don't think. It wouldn't have drawn more people in. It wouldn't have kept the people who showed up. I'd probably have about 1,000 subscribers, but I'd have no views, kind of like I do now. But it would be a lot more painful if I had 1,000 subscribers and was averaging 4 views per video, like I am now. That's my point, though. Experience is necessary. It sucks. I'm not going to act like I'm above this subject, right? If back then someone had offered me a shortcut, I'd have probably taken it. Because why wouldn't you? Right? I'm not trying to sit here and tell you that if you act on a shortcut or if you try for a shortcut, that's wrong and you're stupid and you shouldn't do it. No, if someone had offered me, I would have taken it in an instant, like any human being would. But by having not been given a shortcut, by having not taken a shortcut, by having worked for this long, I learned, alongside many other things about my craft, that it's necessary. The way I do it now, the way I've been running the channel now, it's not perfect, but by the time people start coming in, not only am I so much more experienced and able to provide a better show, so I'm not wasting people's time, but when people show up to this channel, there's already nearly 600 videos. If someone actually really enjoys what I do, there's going to be plenty here for them to enjoy. And that's important. Imagine if someone showed up when you only had 10 videos. They'd watch your 10 videos and then wander off because, you know, even at a video per day, that's not a fast enough output to keep someone invested, at least I don't personally think. It varies from person to person. You know, to be honest, I tend to fixate on a channel for quite a while, and I don't mind if the release of episodes is quite slow, but I understand that's not how a lot of people feel about this sort of thing, hence why I'm saying this to you now. My friend Sweetman is a fantastic example of why I believe this. He is a fantastic example of that, because Sweetman, who is my friend, who is the lead singer of Nova Status and Damaged. That is an indie rock band, I suppose. I'm not really sure how to describe Nova. And Damaged is a hardcore punk band. Now, he was doing Damaged 10 years ago. He was doing Damaged when he was 16 years old. I've been there the entire time, because I've known him since then. For 10 years, I have followed him and his work. And to put it charitably, back then, his music was unrefined. It was scruffy. It lacked a lot of things. Now, I obviously didn't say that to him at the time, because that's not fair. He's my friend and I was there to support him, and for what it's worth, he was pretty good. Sure, there were a lot of problems, but he was pretty good. But that was 10 years ago. Now, the songs he releases are fucking amazing. And I am biased. He's my friend, of course I'm biased. But speaking of, I can look at it objectively and be like, this is fucking good. Nova is amazing. Damaged is amazing. Both the bands he's working on now are amazing. Do you know why they're amazing? It's not because he has a natural talent for it, though I personally believe that he does. It's because he is experienced. It's because he's been doing it. He's been in those bands, or at least he's been in Damaged, for over 10 years. He's been working on music for even longer. Nova's been around a couple years now, but the band consists of people who have been performing and gigging for years. Alex has been gigging almost as long as Sweetman has, maybe longer. I don't know the full extent of it. Aiden, I only became friends with him in the grand scheme of things semi-recently, but he has years of experience as well. Will, I know the least about, but I can guarantee he has years of experience too. They couldn't have taken a shortcut earlier in their life, so they would have gotten nowhere. And there was a band, I think, Sweetman even talked about a band he knew at the time when he was doing Damaged, who got a shortcut to success. Neither of us can remember what their name is though, because that didn't go anywhere. They haven't gone anywhere, because they didn't have any experience. Now, they would have gotten experience from doing that, and that would help them. But at the end of the day, that wasn't their big break. It could have been if they'd had years of experience under their belt, but they didn't. I'm not saying never take a shortcut. I'm not saying don't take one if it's presented to you. Sometimes a helping hand can be just what you need to push what you're doing forward. But if I might make a recommendation, don't seek it out. And don't look at your work like each one is going to be your big break that's going to send you into the stratosphere. Because I just don't. It's unlikely. It would have been unlikely 10 years ago when LP was first getting started. It's doubly unlikely now. And the same goes for things like music and art and animation and all those kinds of things. The key is to work. And that sucks, but it's true. The key is to keep doing it. You will just get better the more you do something. It's so obvious, and it sounds so patronizing to be saying it to you right now, but it's true. You just keep doing it. Keep doing it. It sucks. It's hard. It will take up so much of your life, but do it every day that you can, and you will get there. I'm confident that someday this channel will get to somewhere where I want it to go. I don't think I'll be rivaling people like Markiplier or PewDiePie or Jacksepticeye, but I think this channel will someday get to a point where I can be proud more proud. I already take pride in my work, to be honest. I'm not amazing, but I think I do a decent job, and I take pride in my work, but I mean truly proud. We have a proper following, a proper community. I can have some actually good equipment to run this channel off, and I can be proud. But I have to work for it. It's not just gonna come. I have to work for it. And so do you. But those are just my thoughts. I'd like to know what you think. This one ran a little longer this time, but I had a lot to say on the subject. Like, me and Sweetman had a long conversation about it, and I've briefed this down considerably. Let me know your thoughts. If you disagree with me, I definitely want to know your thoughts, because you can only refine your view on things by having people challenge them. So let me know what you think. I am genuinely curious. But God, I'm gonna have to think of another fucking topic for next time. Only I have to worry about that. I've chosen to take this burden upon myself, and I will do it. I will follow it through. But whatever I talk about next time, I will see you there. Toodles. Goodbye.